We are going back to 2010 through the time travel event happening in Master Duel, and we are using the #1 best deck back in the day, 14 freaking years ago, Triple Gateway of the Six Samurai. This got first place of a YCS where this was only playable for one YCS, and then it got limited to one right after with all the other cards that became available. This deck's all about summoning our Shi En and negating your opponent's spell and trap cards. Let's hop into it. Let's do it. Hajime. Now, I played TCG back in this meta. This is when I freaking played, but I didn't play Six Samurai. I played a deck like X-Saber. The problem is with this event is I can't play X-Saber because this event's based off of the OCG, and while we had the same ban list as the OCG, we had TCG exclusives like Dark Soul. So while Dark Soul was available to us through this card set, Dark Soul was not available to the OCG in the same card set. I also played a deck called Scrap. Scrap's a lot of fun. I would summon Scrap Dragon with turn player priority on summon. You could activate its ignition effect on summon before the opponent could even respond. That's freaking wild. That is exactly like, let's say, summoning a Promethean Princess. If you summon a Promethean Princess, you have the opportunity to respond to her before she activates her effect. But not back in the day. She could summon, activate, reborn from the graveyard before you could even respond. She could activate it, then you could respond to the effect activation. Now, the reason I'm not playing Scraps is because Reborn Tengu, another TCG exclusive that's not available in this event. Now, with us playing the best deck, that's not going to make us immune to a bad hand. While our main goal is to summon a Shi En, we did not draw a freaking Shi En. So what the heck is going on? We're going to simply, I guess, MST that back row, set up a Solemn Warning with a Hand of the Six Samurai, and start poking for 1600 damage. And this is when the life points were a true resource. Whittling down your life points little by little every turn, it did matter because being able to one-turn kill in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the day was incredibly rare, and it looks like we just got outplayed. We have now just -1. Legacy of Yatagarasu is going to be drawing a card in response to us trying to destroy it. Damn. So something as small as like that is already a big outplay. I would really like for Konami to make this a permanent event. Not exactly 2010, but classic freaking Yu-Gi-Oh! Take away these extra monster zones, please, and then you could just sell classic packs in the shop, continually update the ban list, something like that. Maybe give a reduction on the crafting towards the classic cards, maybe. I don't know, anything where this could be profitable for Konami. Oh my gosh, an Exodia deck. No freaking way we're getting Exodia on our first duel. That's definitely not happening. We're gonna hopefully win this before that even is a thing. I do not remember playing against Exodia 14 freaking years ago. Well, we'll see what they could do. And there's also a lot more of a back and forth back in the day where the average duel is probably 10 plus turns. And you let me know if you even liked that style of Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot more or not. Double-edged sword technique could reborn 2/6 Sam from the graveyard, but again, our hand is absolutely trash. Our hand with the Hand of the Six Sam. Again, we're just poking for 1600 damage and passing. Okay, we're gonna set this in case we have a big play next turn. Hopefully. Damn, this is rough. This is the point where if I draw a Six Sam United, which is going to be able to draw a card every time we summon a Six Samurai, I may want to Dark Hole my own monster to just Monster Reborn to draw freaking one card. Pot of Duality was a $100 card back in my day, and you wanted 3 of it in almost every deck. Six Sam was probably the first most prominent deck you didn't actually want to use Pot of Duality in. Even in Black Wings that special summoned a lot, you would play Pot of freaking Duality. And what did I say? Six Sam freaking United with no monsters to summon. What the heck is this? Giant Trinade, a card that's actually banned in Master Duel. Let's again poke for 16. I'm not going to actually Dark Hole Monster Reborn. That was a joke. But maybe not. That might have been the correct play to just draw one. I guess their only thing is open field, take 1600 every turn until they draw an Exodia, yes? Could Solemn Warning negate that, but stopping 1600 damage with a Solemn Warning, stopping them from stopping us is not really a big deal. Definitely not. This is a normal summon, special summon, any summon, just negate. And Solemn Warning was really good because of cards like Six Sam United. Being able to negate the summon entirely so they don't gain a counter onto the United, No draw for you. Reckless Greed caused a lot of game losses. You draw 2, skip your next 2 draw phases, but people would forget. So they would try to put dice on top of their deck, or they would, oh my gosh. No. This didn't even happen to me 14 years ago. Exodia, obliterate. Can I even get mad? My hand sucked. Okay, we're gonna do just 3 duels total, so that's our first duel. Let's try a second duel. The number 1 deck getting Exodia'd for game 1. Ain't no freaking way. Oh my gosh, I could not have scripted a worse scenario for us. That is disgusting. Wow. And I think a lot of people are also not interested in this event, as you can see how long it is to search for an opponent, because they know it's a 3-day only event. And a lot of people are just grabbing their pack, and they're not treating it seriously, because Konami's the ones not treating it seriously themselves either. And that happens in a lot of different game modes. Gia wanted to get into Arena with League of Legends, but once she feels like Riot themselves are not treating the game mode seriously, then she would lose interest in it also. So if Konami could show some better outreach for this game mode, a better commitment, show that they actually care and that they're willing to invest in it, if we will also care ourselves, then I think we can meet Konami in the middle, help them make money off game modes like this, and then we get to enjoy another part of Yu-Gi-Oh! So what do we have here? We have Cage Musha and a Grandmaster, 2100. That's a pretty nice free summon, but just as big as a Cyber Dragon. What the heck? Terraforming? Sure. Well, Ash Blossom does not exist back in the day. Maxi also doesn't. Maxi was a TCG exclusive alongside Dark Soul and Tengu and all that nonsense. Well, it's good. Now, Dragon Ravine, this was a control deck mostly. What this deck would do is, with a Dragooni Dux, you could make a Stardust Dragon, then pass, and that was considered good. Or you could summon Legionnaire. Legionnaire would equip the Achilles, which would then pop a monster on the field, and then the Achilles would pop another card in the field. So that combo popping 2 cards in the field was nuts. Hold up. Stardust Dragon Assault Mode? There's no way you are playing this with your Dragooni deck. Is this the loner deck? I don't even know. We have Legionnaire equipping from the graveyard. Now, Legionnaire itself is not a 1-card Stardust Dragon because it's level 3 and not a 4. So he can't go into level 6 and level 8. But going into a level 5, what is that? Like a magical android, I think, is possibly what he's going to be summoning. Also, something Konami didn't do is they didn't un-errata cards like Goyo Guardian, requiring an Earth Tuner, which it used to just be a generic level 6 synchro. So a lot of people hopped into this event with their Goyo Guardian playing something like Black Wings, and they're just wondering, why can't they summon their Goyo freaking Guardian? So that's another thing Konami would have to work on. Besides, they did change the ruling of, for your first turn, you get to draw a card in addition to your normal 5 cards. So think about how crazy it is to go first in today's meta, and how it's always the best thing to do with only 5 cards. 14 years ago, it was even better, as you would start with 6 cards in your opening hand. Well, 5, then draw 1. Android, gain 600 during the end phase, and then if you were to go into time, you would summon the android, gain life, and then you win. Ooh, we got plays. This is definitely a Giant Trinade play. Giant Trinade spin all that nonsense back as we then go into our Shi En. Let's do it. Spin the Fool back into the hand you go, and let's make our big play. This is essentially what a combo was back in the 14 years ago Yu-Gi-Oh, where combos did not exist. You pretty much just played your hand, and you had to be careful about overextending into a Mirror Force, a Torrential Tribute, a Dark Hole, as you could see in our hand. Let's synchro this up. And just like that, we now can negate any spell or trap once per turn. And if the Shi En were to be destroyed by battle or card effects, we could destroy another card we control instead. 6 Samurai card, that is. And there we go. One of the best monsters of 14 freaking years ago. Before 6 AM turned into a degenerate mess of continually looping Trishilla or summoning a freaking Rongo on you. We have Mystical Space Typhoon for the field spell, so when they discard to activate it, we're going to be wiping that out. If he MSTs our MST, I'm definitely not going to negate it. That'd be a bad idea. And if we read carefully on the Shi En states when your opponent activates a spell/trap card, not the effect of a spell and trap card. So if I pass on this negate and then they activate to discard, it's not going to ask me to Shi En, negate, and destroy. So we had to make that decision if we wanted to negate it only on activation. But we have MST, so we're fine. Yup. Discard, chain MST, as you can see. No Shi En. Wiping out the Dragon Ravine. And just like that, you should be scooping, yes? Discarding the Assault Mode activate. And can you believe that? We still don't have lethal damage next turn, even though they're pretty much out of plays. Well, hopefully out of plays. The trick would be to trick me into negating with Shi En and then chain a Mirror Force to also my attack. If both my monsters are being threatened for destruction, the Shi En cannot protect itself by destroying the other 6 Samurai instead. We're gonna grab a Smoke Signal. Okay, 4,600 damage we have on the field here. If we Smoke Signal into something like a Hand of the 6 Samurai, let's read what that card does. I think it can only destroy a monster. Where is the Hand of the 6 Samurai? There it is. Destroy, target one monster in the field only, destroy that target. And it would not be enough for lethal damage either. We'd have 6,200 damage. So what I could, if I'm really afraid of a Mirror Force plus another card, what I could do is I could put the Grandmaster into defense, which is quite sus. I could also use a card like Cage Musha. When exactly 1/6 Sam would be targeted by a card effect, you could redirect the effect to this. So if they were to maybe use a Dimensional Prison, right? That's what it's called, D-Prison. On the attack, I could redirect it. But we're gonna grab a Hand of the 6 Samurai. We're gonna summon. I don't feel any delays. So the risk is he has 2 battle traps. So I'm gonna go into defense since this is not lethal, and let's go in. Let's do it. We can negate something and get Mirror Forced and protect the Shi En. Thus, he's not doing either. Let's go. Double D Prison, though, would really... Ooh, there's the D Prison. Should I have grabbed a Cage Musha or what? This is a once per turn negate, mate. Let's go. Chain Mirror Force. Chain the Mirror Force. Yeah. Chaining the freaking Mirror Force. Ain't no way. Wow. And because we outplayed him, as you can see, I can't tribute the Hand of the 6 Samurai because it's also being destroyed by Mirror Force. So by putting the Grandmaster into defense, we perfectly outplayed him. Damn. You've been got. Wow. I'm sure someone had to be thinking that I was a fool for putting Grandmaster into defense. Well, I don't think so. And it's not once while face up. We can negate again. So they're in big trouble now. We actually lose to a Dragooni Dux. If he simply has a Dux in his hand, it's over. Oh, and we win it, playing around the Deep Prison and Mirror Force. You see, there were some good ways to outplay fools back in the day, just like that. The game was a lot more simple in many ways, but through its simplicity, there was also a lot of complexity of, like you just saw there. The double battle trap. The battle traps were actually viable back in the day. You could actually set background and have to play around it. This is when Heavy Storm was not legal. So people were incentivized to set as much back row as possible, whether you like that or not. But when Heavy Storm did become unbanned, and they kind of went back and forth, the Heavy Storm banning it and unbanning it, a pro play would be is to set your Heavy Storm. Why would you do that? Well, by setting your Heavy Storm, your opponent would then play into Heavy Storm because they know that the opponent now has a back row card, so they're not going to Heavy Storm their own back row, right? So you could set at least 2 cards and then end. And then when it goes back to the player that set Heavy Storm, you get pro-heavied. You flip up the Heavy Storm, wipe out their back row cards after they played into it, and then you win. Oh my gosh, what do we have here? Not a good hand whatsoever. This is actually trash. I could summon Kajiki just to gain 2 counters, but that's not going to help us. I am going to just Solemn Warning their normal summon, and hopefully that'll be enough. Because what the heck, even drawing for our first turn, we don't have a Shi En play. I'm playing the #1 first place YCS winning deck list here. We even have triple Upstart Goblin. Damn, come on. We can Heavy Storm him if we want to. Ooh, another one. Okay, we could chain MST to that. Discard, chain MST. Yup. It also helps him get a card into the graveyard that he may want in the grave, but he doesn't want that in the graveyard, so this was beneficial. Wipe out that fool. You've been got. I remember enjoying Dragoony deck a lot myself back in the day, playing with the Legionnaire Pop 2 combo. That was a lot of fun. Foolish Burial, send from the deck. If he summons a Dux, we're going to have to Solemn Warning it. And then just cope that we draw something good for our Gateway of the Six. This card's so broken. It's limited to 1 now, and even in Master Duel. Every 2 6 Samurai summons, you could search your deck or graveyard for any 6 Samurai monster. And if you want, with 6 counters, you could target a Shi En effect monster in the graveyard and reborn it. A Legionnaire plus a Phalanx is... What? Okay, I said 3 duels, but we'll go 1 more. 1 more. Early Surrender. Damn, what a fool. Let's go. Let's have a real 3rd duel. Come on. Let me go first. Let me make a turn 1 Shi En. Let me use and abuse my Gateway of the Six. Let me show why the card is freaking limited to 1. And I also put out a recent video reacting to the new 6 Samurai support just announced that we won't see for probably about maybe 9 months, maybe. Yeah, sometime next year is when we'll see it. New 6 Samurai support, a new Shi En, level 6 Synchro Shi En. And I said I was disappointed because the deck turned into a degenerate loop deck. As I say that, we're about to do some degenerate looping ourselves as we're going to be searching a ton of cards, drawing a bunch of cards. I could not have asked for a better hand. What the hell is this, mate? Ain't no way. I would only be sad if he activates an effect failure. He's actually going to definitely surrender. There's no way he's playing through this. Kajiki summon Cage Musha. Oh my goodness, it's actually going through. And guess what? There is no Nibiru. We're going to draw 2 off of the United. Come to me. Another Gateway of the Six. This is not real. So we don't have to worry about overcommitting. Nothing. We can make our Shi En right now. Oh my cheeses. We're just summoning everything. I don't think there's a cap on the counters, right? Did it say max count? There's no cap. No cap on the counters, mate. We're gonna add 4 from, okay, remove 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna grab a Grandmaster here. Special summon that Grandmaster. We're just gonna super flood the field because we can negate a, you know, something like a Dark Hole. Okay. I think we had enough dueling. Yeah, we all know what was gonna go from there. We're gonna keep on summoning. Keys on, keys on, keys on. Shi En, Grandmaster, reborn from the grave. And there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick little video of, you know, 3 to 4 duels we did of going back in time into 2010. If you played back in the day, what deck did you play? Again, I really wanted to play X-Saber. I really wanted to play Scraps, but I can't justify playing the deck without Dark Soul. Dark Soul made the deck so damn good. And also, without the Reborn Tengu, I don't want to play Scraps without it. Now, Gladiators is something that I may do a follow-up video with. Gladiators was a lot of fun to play back in the day. Bestiari was limited to 1. And even Blackwing could be something that I may want to play also. Did any of you play Blackwing back in the day? Limited to 1 Black Whirlwind, limited to 1 Gale, but you had triple Kalute and triple Blizzard. You only had 1 Allure of Darkness. Another fun deck to be playing was Machina. Machina Gadgets with Fortress. Oh my gosh, this just brings back so many memories. But again, Konami, please do more with this. I want to have you see that I did craft extra gateways. Hopefully that's in your analytics to show that I committed to your little 3-day fun event to make you, push you to see that you can make money off of this if you just make it longer. Make it a bigger thing. Make it a permanent game mode that continually updates. Now, enough of that nonsense. I appreciate you all, and maybe you could join with me on this push for Konami to make classic Yu-Gi-Oh! A permanent game mode. We are out.